Well, hello and good evening to everyone. I want to say hey to Amy Duran and everyone else who is watching in the replay, as well as those who will enter in a little bit later. This story troubled me, and I'm sure you guys, I always say you guys probably already know. And the reason why I always say that is because you guys are by far the smartest chat in the land. So I just want to get right into reading the story for you, and you guys can tell me if you knew about it or if you didn't. So here it goes. The Republican Study Committee on Thursday condemned the Biden administration's efforts to re-enter a nuclear deal with Iran through negotiations mediated by Russia. RSC Chairman Jim Banks and RSC National Security and Foreign Affairs Task Force Chair Joe Wilson introduced a resolution condemning the administration's attempt to rejoin the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, better known as the JCPOA, with the help of Russia at the negotiating table. He says, quote, "A renewed JCPOA would increase the risk of a nuclear Iran, enrich terrorists, and destabilize an entire region. All that aside, the process in Vienna would be a deal breaker for any normal administration." Banks said in a statement, and he continues with, "Just days ago, Iranian terrorists threatened to kill American citizens on U.S. soil, and the Iranian government openly took credit for a missile attack near the United States consulate in Iraq." He says that Joe Biden isn't just negotiating with terrorists, he's sending terrorists billions in sanctions relief. But it doesn't matter, and it doesn't end there, I should say. He says it doesn't end there. Biden partnered with a rogue dictator during the negotiations. This is peak weakness, and the Biden administration is seriously damaging America and our allies' national security, he says. The resolution came after reports suggested that the Biden administration agreed to allow Russia to evade international sanctions. Let me let you guys make sure you hear me. That is evade, not invade. The resolution came after reports suggesting that the Biden administration agreed to allow Russia to evade international sanctions on nuclear projects Moscow undertakes with Tehran. The resolution is it's co-sponsored by 50 House Republicans and endorsed by former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, former National Security Advisor Robert C. O'Brien, and Heritage Action, the Foundation for the Defense of Democracy's Action, Christian United for Israel, and Nikki Haley's Stand for America. Pompeo joined with the RSC on April 2021, and he announced the Maximum Pressure Act to codify the Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign on Iran. This is a quote from Pompeo. "President Trump and I threw out the JCPOA and brought Iran to heel through a successful maximum pressure campaign. We gave successive administrations a roadmap to ensure our allies' security and bring stability to the Middle East. The Biden administration plans to throw all of that away," Pompeo said. Pompeo also warned that any deal that entrenches Iran or enriches Iran's terrorists won't last. Well, Republicans know how to subdue Iran's terrorist regime. "We did it before, and we'll do it again," he said. This is what Wilson added. This is all a bunch of mess. The whole thing stinks to high heaven. I'm just amazed to see that this is the stuff that we're dealing with. This is a bozo circus that we have in the White House right now, and it's just, I don't know what to say. Just the whole story just makes me want to throw up in my mouth. But nonetheless, Pompeo also warned about any deal that enriches Iranian terrorists, and he says that it won't last. Republicans know how to subdue Iran's terrorist regime. "We did it before, we'll do it again," he says. This is another little small tidbit here. It says the Iranian regime has continued enriching uranium, testing ballistic missiles, and exporting terrorism around the globe. This is America doing this. This ain't them. It's always the boogeyman. And I have to say that the boogeyman is us. Hey, Deborah Johnson, how you doing? The boogeyman is us. We're the boogeyman. We create it, we sell it, we shovel it, we regurgitate it, we eat it, we serve it, we do all of that. That's us. That's this place. And it is a clown show. It is a clown show. I can't believe that we're sitting down to the table with these folks. Well, that's what it is. It is disgusting, and this goes to show that this is the greatest show on earth. It really honestly is. It's the greatest show on earth, and it's all for our benefit. Why? Because as long as we're distracted believing the lies that they're shoveling to us, we will never, ever see what they're doing. I thought I saw Deborah in here. I wanted to say hey again to her, Deborah Johnson. Anyway, so that's the deal. That's part of the deal. Now, another piece of the deal is the fact that we literally didn't think that they didn't think that we would know that this would happen. Don't you know that bad news, good news spreads, but bad news spreads even faster. So with this Republican Study Committee coming up with this, didn't they think that we would know that they were negotiating with Russia? Do you see how this is a big movie? It's a huge movie scene. And again, I say that the pieces of the chessboard are just being laid out before all of us so that none of us feel as if, we didn't know something. We don't know that y'all are tripping. We know that. We can see that. And that's the reason why I believe that if we would just stop focusing on what it is that they're doing, they would not be able to do any of the stuff that they're doing. We need to just stop talking about what they do. Did you guys know that? If we just stop talking about the stuff that they do, and we continue to forge ahead and work like those ants, like we were talking about on the Lockhart Perspective the other day. Remember, we were talking about working like the ant. Consider the ant, thou sluggard. If we just keep doing what we need to do to make sure that our households and we are safe and we're nested together and we're all tight and knitly, fitted knitly, just really tightly, then we don't have to worry about anything, because as we can see, this stuff is fake. How are you going to say that you're giving sanctions to this cat and then you ask for their help? Come on now. We ain't stupid. We're not stupid, but they think we are. They think we are. That's right. Matrix just said it. The Royal Actors Guild. That's right. The Royal Actors. Royal. You really are serious. Oh, she's here. Okay. Tracy, hey, Betty R. I've been reading Devolution. I'm telling you, very good. I wish I was tripping. Me too. Me too. Hey, we need Jesus. You see what Deborah has there? I just don't understand this. This is really like a joke. And you know what? I'm going to say this. I don't praise any leader. But as I look at all the stories that are coming across, I said, this cat over there had enough sense to cut off his internet on purpose because he don't want his people seeing that mess that's a lie, because he know it's a lie. All he's doing is raking in all the goods. Okay, no problem. You want to use my name? Go right ahead. Use my name. I'll cut off the internet so none of my people believe this. I don't need them running around in fear. Meanwhile, there are people who are on this platform who are literally out there showing pictures and videos of plentiful grocery stores. Just regular middle people. This is a mess. This is a mess. For those of you who are just coming in, I'm going to repeat this top portion, okay? The Republican Study Committee on Thursday condemned the Biden administration's efforts to re-enter a nuclear deal with Iran through negotiations mediated by Russia. The RSC chairman, Jim Banks, and the RSC National Security and Foreign Affairs Task Force chair, Joe Wilson, introduced a resolution condemning the administration's attempt to rejoin the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action with the help of Russia at the negotiating table. A renewed JCPOA would increase the risk of a nuclear Iran, enrich terrorists, and destabilize the entire region. All that aside, the process in Vienna would be a deal breaker for any normal administration, Banks said in a statement. Just days ago, he continues, Iranian terrorists threatened to kill American citizens on U.S. soil, and the Iranian government openly took credit for a missile attack near the United States consulate in Iraq. Banks added, referencing an Iranian missile attack that hit a building near the new U.S. consulate in Erbil. He continues with, Joe Biden isn't just negotiating with terrorists, he's sending terrorists billions in sanctions relief. But it doesn't end there, he says. Biden partnered with a rogue dictator during the negotiations. This is peak weakness, and the Biden administration is seriously damaging America and our allies' national security, he said. So we have all of these Republicans who are claiming that they know everything and that they see everything. And I submit that if they don't do anything, then they're just a part of the circus, which I'm sure we all know. I don't believe in either side. I've always been a conservative in my heart and how I live, but I don't believe that any side means any good because, frankly, I think when they've all got enough stuff on one another, that what they do is just fall back and get in line. I think they are all just getting in line. And that goes for those who stand up and say, hey, we didn't know this, or I think you should stop it. You know what I'm saying? I think you should stop. That's what they're saying. I think you should quit it. Look what he's doing. Look what he's saying. Look who he's talking to. Look who he's partnering with. When you consider that all of these individuals that are doing what they're doing are watching the same show we're watching, and they literally have power to fix it, that should tell us a lot. It should tell each and every one of us a lot. I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll continue to say that the only place that we need to be editing or changing anything is in our local communities, because our strong local communities collectively can make a difference. They can make a difference. If we get all of our local communities and everybody who is running for office coming up, make sure that we've vetted those people. I say it, I'll keep saying it. I'll keep saying it. There is really nothing that we can do. There is really nothing that we can do other than make sure that the people that are representing us locally are above board. Okay? I would rather take Bubba down the street who stands outside. I'm going to say it. I would rather take Bubba down the street who stands outside of the liquor store asking for coins than I would these folks. You know why? Because at least I see Bubba. I know what Bubba's about. I don't expect no more than Bubba out of Bubba. At least he honest. He telling you he want a drink. He's standing outside and he's telling you what he wants. At least he honest. So make sure that we get into the habit of understanding that it's important to put people in place that we trust locally. Local homegrown people. Because this stuff right here shows that corruption and money really do go hand in hand. I'm not sure if you all know this story. I'm going to tack it on here. Yes, we are, Deborah. I love Deborah. Deborah was such a support to Bettina, and I just love Deborah. I think Deborah is an awesome person, and you see what she has here on the screen. You see that? Okay. Bubba is working out. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we already know that all they're doing is setting everything up. Like I said the other night, the reason why we've sort of slowed up on the candy bar conversation, you know, everybody go get your candy bar. The reason why we slowed up on that conversation specifically is because, well, they really don't need to do anything else besides get all the logistics and the pieces together to make sure that everything is accounted for and all in one place. Follow me? Because 2023 is just a few months away. And hey, At this point, it's just smooth sailing. They've continued to have enough confusion to have all of our minds blocked under witchcraft for the past 24 months or more. Well, 24 months this month, right? Yeah. 2 years. 2 years. They've had enough confusion to keep us bent. All right? They've had enough confusion around us so that we're not looking. People were constantly walking in the spirit of fear, which, as we know, all of us here know that that's nothing but something that'll, it'll cripple you. But let me show you this story. I want you to see this one, because this is dealing specifically with our border, which is something that is so unfathomable to me. It's unfathomable to me that we use terms like, oh, we have to help people and their security, and we've got to help this, and we've got to help them do this and that. And here we have this. Yuma sector Border Patrol agents apprehend a group of 100, but it's not just about the number, because you and I both know there are a lot more, right? Of 100 migrants who illegally crossed the border earlier this week. The illegal aliens came to the United States from 10 different countries, all right? The agents arrested the migrants and transported them to the Yuma station for processing. Elsewhere in the sector, Wellington Station agents interdicted a human smuggling attempt during an immigration traffic stop. The agents identified an alleged smuggler who was a United States citizen. This cat. A records check revealed the alleged smuggler. Here is the deal. The alleged smuggler has a criminal history, including a felony conviction for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He served nearly 7 years in prison following the conviction. This comes from Chief Clem, who tweeted this out. So far this year, Yuma sector agents apprehended nearly 120 illegal aliens. Agents apprehended 20,329 of those just in February, the latest month for which statistics are available from the CBP officials. And this is our home. This is happening in our home. If you live in New Mexico, if you live in California, if you live in Texas, if you live in, any of those areas that are along the coast or that along the border, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you live anymore. Our borders have been forsaken while we attempt to push this falsehood on everybody else. And I don't know. I think that the Smith-Mundt Act was taken away specifically for this purpose because, well, you can always fabricate stories to make us believe that something's going on elsewhere. You can always fabricate stuff to make us believe that something is going on elsewhere. And when you're dealing with Elites, then there is no doubt that you can be fooled and tricked. And this is our country. This is our America. And I tell you, as somebody who, if you could cut me, I would bleed red, white, and blue, and got tears in my eyes every time I heard, Lee Greenwood and all that stuff as a young mom raising my kids, living on military installations. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because you know what? Even when I look at him, Maureen, when I look at him, he just reminds me of the guy that's running around just making his face seen, just showing his face, every now and then, like, hey, do you miss me? No, because you are part and parcel, part of the problem. I want to tell you that I had 2 dreams about him while he was in office. And I believe that in the very beginning, he was on the right track. He was doing something. But I also feel like the 2 dreams that I had that were right around moon changes. was warnings that he wasn't safe, and that there were people putting stuff on him. So with that said, I don't even know if the real one was there anymore. But I do know originally he was on the right track. Now, was he always a part of the plan? Probably. I don't know. But I do know that if we're looking for anybody high up to, help us, that's not going to happen. But it is important that we consider the fact that we do have our local governments to look after, and they're a lot smaller and they're a lot more touchable. Our local school boards, all that stuff, get involved if you're not. Even for the people who are just a part of the community and you may only have nieces or nephews, maybe not any children or grandchildren going, you can still go to those type of organizations and those type of meetings and have your voice heard, because believe it or not, the small foxes spoil the vine. And that's what I just want to tell you. You guys, don't stop loving our country. Don't stop loving who we are. Don't stop loving what we've always stood for. Don't stop. Continue to pray for our nation. Continue to lift our nation up, because she sure needs it. You're still here. I know that Babylon is fallen. I know that it's all, smoke and mirrors, but this is where we are. So we can't just lay down and do nothing. If all you know how to do is to just intercede, then intercede. Intercede. Because this nation needs it. And if you know how to do it and you don't, boo. And if you know how to do it and you do, thank you. But we definitely need it. We really do. Do you guys agree to that? Do y'all think we need it? I think we need it. I really do. And I know that the word says that the effectual, fervent prayers of the righteous, they availeth much. Absolutely, and Leslie. Absolutely. That's right, Deborah Johnson. What she has on the screen is absolutely right. Yep. So that's what I think, y'all. And it's really sad. Hey, Amy again. Hey, Hal, Marty Lauderdale, how are you? Rolf, how are you? Matrix, good to see you. Who else we got here? It's just what we've got to do, folks. It's what we've got to do. And that stuff right there, if you know people who, like me, I've been asking all the black folk that I know that voted for the cat that's in there right now, are you happy now? What are you going to do to change it? What are you going to do to change it? That's what I've been asking them. What are you going to do? All of them that I know. Are you happy now? But it's funny because a lot of them were all, oh yeah, Kamala. And him. And I'm like, okay, where are you now? Some of them you don't even hear. And if you bring the topic up, they act like, oh, I don't know. I mean, it's okay. I don't mind paying a couple of dollars extra for gas, as long as God give me the money, I'll be okay. And I'm like, wow. Rolf. See what Rolf Strider has on the screen? The fact is that when you give it to them, you're giving it to them. Yep. Every penny that we're giving goes right into their pockets, because everybody is making. See, what we don't see is the deals that they make behind the scenes, where everybody is sort of agreeing to get something for nothing. If you play your role, I'm going to give you this much. If you play your role, I'm going to give you that much. Okay? All right? If you play your role, I'm going to get this much. If you play your role, I'm going to get this much if I play my role. How much your role going to get you? Well, girl, they said they going to give me this amount if I do that. The same way I was saying that all that stimulus money wasn't nothing but hush money. You got some money, so be quiet. You shouldn't care that we're sending this money elsewhere. You got some money. Oh, okay. So we got to pay all that back, and we just got to shut up. They do. And you see, I'm going to tell you guys what they're about to do with that little Keebler cat. What they're about to do with that dude is they're about to allow him to go on ahead and retire. If he does, I mean, he'll still have his hands, his little grubby little mitts and something, but he's like the top paid cat. All right. And so I don't know, maybe it will happen, but I think this is me saying this. I think that they're just going to let this cat go ahead and take all the money that he can. They gave him that big whopping raise a couple of years ago, while Mr. Naranga was still in office, and he became the highest paid person. This is the Keebler cat, little dude. Okay, this is Webster. All right. And I think they're just going to give him a whole boatload of money because it's time for him to retire, and send him packing, send him on his way. Maybe I'll go to an island or something like that. And it will definitely be back, Ahau. It will be back with a vengeance, because they're going to pull out all the stops. But did you know that there was, I forget what country it was, but they just got through suing some people. There were some people who were injured. Let me see, can I find that story for you? I'm not sure if you guys knew that or not. There were some folks who were injured, and okay, it's a whole country. Yeah. And so they're yeah. Yep. Because they have some people who were injured. I think, was it the Philippines? I don't think so. Because they're like right in our hands. Their crazy leader was talking, I'm gonna throw y'all in jail if you don't do such and such. If you don't do anything, if you don't do this or that, I'm gonna throw you in jail. He was an idiot. Let me see. Oh wow. There's like no, you can't even find it here. I don't even remember who sent me the story. I'm gonna have to look back. But if you try to put it in a search engine, child, they done clean these search engines up so bad they are absolutely worthless. They're worse than a piece of used toilet paper. You can't even find it by typing it in there. If anybody remembers the story I'm talking about, let us know. He just said that he expects the cases to surge again here in the next few. Yeah, because they're doing their damage. That's why, because they've already played the game enough, and they know what they got. They got everybody fearful. They got enough stuff passed. They got enough stuff moved around. They got, all of the digital things all in place. All of that. Yeah. They got all the digital stuff in place. Stick everybody's information here. Oh, you don't have it? Stick them over there. You got it? Oh, stick them over there. Oh, yeah. It's all about. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Yep. I did, Maureen, and that's the problem now, because just like Monty said the other night, they're nothing but... Please. I can't even... That's all they're doing, Betty. With Tide and a Brillo pad. Or borax and a Brillo pad. Oh. Okay. And I believe that. I believe that, Deborah. I believe that. I know that. I saw those numbers. Yep. And we know why they are, Deborah, because there's literally two sides there. There is literally two. And there's one side that believes in X and another side that believes in X. But all of that stuff over there, oh boy, I don't know. It's too much stuff. It's just too much stuff. It's too much stuff. That's exactly right. And see, they weren't doing all of that over there in Nigeria. Not originally. Nope. They weren't doing that. That's exactly right, Marty. Bingo. Ding, 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 ding. Give that lady a prize. That's absolutely right. That's exactly what's going on. Yep. It's really a clown world. It is a clown world. Straight up clown college. We see them bozo shoes, y'all. We see the bozo shoes. So, I don't know. But I just think that this is just, it really does stink to high heaven. The whole thing just stinks. Man, that little grubby kid, that man, Rolf, Reminds me of a person that when they were a kid, they were literally standing there pulling off the wings of the butterfly or snatching off the wings of a living fly or something and just watching intently. That's just what it reminds me of. Yes, Ahau, she was, which is the reason why I say, well, look up what the word MAGA means. It's all a big show. And sometimes I'm like, wow, did we bump up against another universe? Where's my old people? Where my old place? Where they at? Okay. That's exactly right, Betty. Yeah, she was R. Hall. That's right. Ahau and Betty R. I'm getting y'all's name mixed up. Who? Oh, yes, I know. And you know who else? That boy from Amazon. Wasn't he, Marty? I think it was him too. I think he was too. The boy from Amazon, I think it was him as well. So here we have the Republicans coming out, scolding, Mr. B. And I just think that they're only scolding him for show. I don't believe that they are scolding him for anything real. I think that it is completely for show. Exactly. Bezos. That's exactly who it is. And you know what? Another thing, I think a lot of times these cats are stepping down the way that they are. Have you noticed a lot of these people are stepping down? A lot of these people are stepping down, I think, because they don't want to be a part of what's going to happen. So they have to step back and say, okay, well, this just happened. That just happened. You see what happened with this part of the country, this part of my company, my old company. You see what happened over here. I'm not in it. I stepped down, so it's not me. But when they leave, they're selling off stuff. And you don't even have enough stuff to sell off like they do, but they selling it all off. Selling it all off and leaving, allegedly. 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 So, I don't know, you guys. That's just a mess to me to see the fact that, you would literally get all of us all upset, or at least some people upset, about what's going on over there. And then you would sit down with them to have a discussion to get back in the good graces of Iran. You would literally sit down at the table with Russia to get in the good graces of Iran. Hot rump mess. Hot rump mess. That's a mess. That is a mess. And none of us are supposed to say anything about it. We're supposed to just shut up and take it. Shut up, take it. Do you like it yet? You don't? Eat some more. The more you eat, the more you'll like it. You'll like it eventually. Okay? The more you eat, the more you'll like it. Shovel some more in their mouths. Give them some more of it. They'll eat their porridge. Porridge and poop. I don't want it. You eat it. Keep eating it. Eat a little more, you'll like it. That's such a mess. But that's exactly what we have right now. That's exactly what it is. Just like that phrase that they have. And you guys quit confessing that phrase that they say. I'm going to say it right now so that you know which one I'm talking. But the you'll have nothing and da-da-da. Don't say that. You are a professor, meaning you profess something. Stop saying that because they need our words to push their hubbub. They need our word. They especially need your words. You got power in your words. So stop saying what they want us to believe because faith comes by hearing, and. Hearing by the word of Yah, hearing by the word of God, hearing by the word of Jesus, hearing by your word. Anything you hear over and over again because the principles are in place, it comes to fruition. Trust and believe. That's the reason why that little book they had that they turned into a movie, The Greatest Secret. The Secret. Okay? And all you had to do was go get a Bible verse and you could have seen that. But that's the reason why it works. because you have what you say. So stop repeating all of their stuff. Stop repeating all of their stuff. Those are spells because you're dealing with witches and warlocks. Those are spells, and they need you to push their garbage. Believe me, that's the reason why you see commercials all the time. Ahal says, God's economy will never fail, especially if we're living according to his will and his word. It ain't ever gonna fail. That's right, Ahal. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's right. That's right, Marty. That's right. Yep. So you guys remember, take back the authority that Yah has given you, because death and life are in the power of the tongue. That's his word, not mine. That's his word, y'all, not mine. So it's like what, 8:36 on the East Coast right now. Hey, Oz. 8:36 on the East Coast. It's 7:36 here, Central Time. And I just want to thank all of y'all for coming over here, hanging out with me, because I can go as much as I can over here. Repeating the sorcery, don't do it. Absolutely. Figure it out, you guys. Seriously, be responsible for what you hear. Be responsible for what you say. Be responsible for what comes out of our mouths. What goes into our eye gates, what goes into our ear gates, those are gates. They're gates to do a couple of things. What you hear and what you see, you will gain faith for it or you'll gain fear for it. And trust and believe. You guys know this is true. You know this is true because have you ever had something that doesn't feel good on your body and you don't say nothing about it, but you feel a little twinge and it doesn't really bug you that much. And then as soon as you tell somebody, girl, I done hurt my sacroiliac, the sacroiliac gets to really hurting. That's because you're giving that thing life. I'm not saying walk around like stuff don't exist. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is choose life. And there's a scripture that says, I love life and I want to see good days. And there's another part of it that says, therefore I will keep my tongue from evil and my lips from speaking deceit. You have to turn away from evil, speak peace, and follow after it. I hope this is helping somebody. I know y'all, this ain't church or whatever, but I do hope that this is helping somebody. Thank you, Deborah. Says that we have 8 thumbs up, and I want to thank those 8 folks who have given us a thumbs up. And if you don't mind, could you please help us out by giving us a thumbs up? And if you can, share it out to some of your friends. This, of course, is a non-monetized channel. So I would still like for people to be able to, come on over and listen to some of the stuff that we've got to share. While we can, while we can. So we've got about 386 folks over here. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider, if you like what you've heard, please consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. Love to have you. But yeah, I just want all of us to sort of, remember that they need our words. They need you. You remember I told you guys, most of you may remember, but there was a pagan lady who was saying that they needed the words of quote unquote Christians to push their spells. And she had come out of it, and she's a believer now, but she was just telling some of their inner secrets. And that's one of the things that she said. So let's change what we say. Let's make sure that if we cannot say anything positive, we just don't say nothing about nothing. Okay. And I love all of y'all. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see. Did we forget? Did I pass up anybody? I hope not. I hope I called y'all's name out. I hope I did. Let me see. I said we need Jesus, and there go my sister Betty R, my sister Oz. Okay, there goes Sister Deborah. Everybody's here and accounted for. All right, I think I hit all y'all up. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for sharing with us tonight, coming in, hanging out with us. And just remember what we always say on any of the Felicia Lockhart Group publications, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. I want you guys to remember to take care of yourselves first of all. And then after you do that, you can then begin to help other folks. That's what you can do. All right. So until we see each other again, until we speak again, please continue to be blessed.
Lockhart Perspective.